You are Locked On Wolves POSTCAST, part of Locked On Minnesota on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, an epic 20-point comeback by the Wolves. Falls short as who else? Austin Reeves. He hits the game winner as the clock expires for the Lakers. Heartbreak at the Target Center tonight. 116-115. That's your final. Wolves dropped to 2-3 on the year. What's happening? Back in the lab. Back at it. Another T-Wolves postcast. If you're new here, thanks for joining. Your one-stop shop for all your Timberwolves instant reaction deep dive after each and every game. He's Jack Borman, Wolves expert, NBA expert. Give him a follow on X at JR Borman13. I'm Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. Make sure you follow our guy, Ben Beacon, as well, host of the Locked On Timberwolves show each and every day. Find all the video on the Locked On Wolves YouTube channel, all the audio wherever you find your podcast. Lots to get into here, Jack. Biggest turning point from the Wolves, plus obviously that wild 20-point second half comeback was just unbelievable. But just at the top, I want to ask you, I'm curious, walk me through that final minute in that final possession. Jaden McDaniels with the monster three, Julius Randle with the go-ahead bucket, down 20. Now all of a sudden you're up one. Too much time on the clock, though, for Austin Reeves. Gets the ball with 6.6 on the clock and does his thing, 12-foot floater, nothing but net. What'd you see, though, kind of unfold in that final key possession or two? What was your big picture takeaways as well?
Yeah, I love the way the Wolves handled it offensively, right? You can't complain with the shot selection that they got. I thought it was great. I know a lot of people somewhat treat it like 2K where you want to take the last shot, but it's just not necessarily how a lot of teams operate. They want to go, give yourself a chance to hit the offensive glass, especially when you have a foul to give. So I don't, doubt or fault Julius whatsoever for going when he went. I had more of an issue with the final possession. I thought, Rudy giving the foul to give there was totally fine, but you just cannot get split on a screen like that. Allow Austin Reeves to get in between Jaden and Rudy. I don't know why they didn't switch that. That's normal protocol in those types of situations to switch. It just kind of put a cap on what was a really forgettable game for Gobert. But yeah, overall, the Timberwolves gave up 40 combined second chance points and points off turnovers. They allowed 26 points off of 18 turnovers in this game, which is pretty brutal considering how it started for the Lakers. It's kind of the same script as Monday night in terms of the Wolves totally controlled that in the first half and then totally allowed the Lakers to control it in the second half. And just a bummer that they squandered 63 points from Julius Randle and Jaden McDaniels. 63 of 115 points is pretty darn good for those two guys stepping up in place of Anthony Edwards. And then just nobody else was able to meet the moment in a meaningful way. You only had two guys in double figures through three quarters, finished with three guys in double figures. The Lakers had five guys score at least 15 points. And you got to give up a lot of credit to Austin Reeves, who had the game winner tonight. Tied a career high 16 assists. Getting all sorts of defensive attention and turned it over only 3 times. A really good bounce back game from him after 6 turnovers against Portland the other night. And the Wolves bench, just 21 points on 25 shots. They shot 36% from the floor. For reference, the Lakers were the worst bench in the league, coming in at just 17.5 points a game. The Wolves bench this season coming in 30.5 points per game. It's 4th worst in the NBA. And so they were significantly worse than that tonight, scoring only 21 points. And with all the talent the Wolves have on their bench, they just, they just have to be better. And then lastly, the Wolves perimeter defense was a lot better in this game for a handful of minutes. And then it just totally fell off. And we'll get into, a little bit why. Chris Finch directly challenged Jaden McDaniels and Rudy Gobert after Monday's loss. And their early returns were pretty good, especially for McDaniels, and they just weren't able to sustain that as a team. I don't think it was Jaden, but just a really, really tough loss for the Wolves, considering the Lakers were down LeBron, Luka, Maxi Kleber, Marcus Smart, and Gabe Vincent. So,
yeah, early in the season, obviously a long way to go. It's a long gauntlet road to the end, but definitely one I think is going to sting when we look back for sure. Let's get to the biggest turning point from tonight.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Again, 4-point game at halftime. Wheels kind of fall off in the third. Lakers go on a run. Wolves defense just kind of crumbles there. All of a sudden, it's looking like a blowout. They're down 20. You text me, hey, I'm heading to the office at the Target Center. I'm packing up. But 6-minute mark, Wolves start to flip the switch. Defense started to get a little sticky. 3-point shooting was money. And again, a fantastic comeback that, again, feels like all for naught now. But biggest turning point in your eyes, Jack, when was it and why?
Yeah, I think it has to come out of the locker room for the Timberwolves. I mean, the Lakers went on an 18-8 run for about 4.5 minutes to break it open. Jake LaRavia had 9 of those points, and Austin Reeves assisted on 5 of the 7 baskets on that run. He was just slicing and dicing. They were running a lot of stack pick and roll to get open looks on the backside for not only LaRavia, who had, 27 points tonight on 10 of 11 shooting. He had 24 points coming in all season, coming into today. So to allow him to get off like that was disappointing. And then I think the Wolves were just kind of playing on their back foot, right? And I think they started pressing offensively, and they weren't able to get into any type of flow or rhythm for the remainder of that third quarter. And they had 6 turnovers that turned into 7 Lakers points for the rest of that third quarter. And I just think that, until Bones Highland came in and gave them that little spark, helped fuel an 11-2 run to close the quarter. He accounted for 9 of those 11 points. It was nice to see him pop off a little bit. Had 8 points in his 8 minutes. But outside of that, I mean, the Timberwolves just didn't bring the requisite energy for the first 3.5 quarters, really. And, to their credit, they did bring it in the fourth quarter, no question about it. But just came up short, and you can't put yourself in a position to where somebody who's as talented as Austin Reeves can go out and win a game in one possession. And I just can't say enough about how much more the Lakers wanted this game. And you got to feel good for them, right? They played so hard for this entire game, and they had 6 guys play at least 27 minutes. They had 5 guys play at least 35 minutes. So they really did not rely upon their bench outside of Dalton Connect at all. And kind of shades of the playoff series last year. But just a bummer for the Wolves not to come away with a win.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
How about tonight's game MVP, Jack? Austin Reeves obviously gets the game ball, right, with those 16 assists. But if I made you pick one for the Wolves, just trying to find a positive here, who was it tonight and why?
Yeah, it's got to be Jaden McDaniels, right? I think him scoring 30 points tonight, his second straight game of at least 25 points. But not only that, his second game in a row, he's done it really efficiently, right? It was 10 of 16 the other night, 11 of 19 tonight, and just the diversity of his shot, of his scoring was tremendous. He had 9 points from beyond the 3-point line. He had 8 points at the rim. He had 8 points in the mid-range, and he was 5 of 5 at the free throw line. Oh, and he also had 7 rebounds too. So I think it was just a really well-rounded effort from Jaden. And you look at this in a night where, the Wolves lost by 1, Jaden was a plus 10. And it certainly felt that way when he was on the court, because the team had a significantly different defensive energy. Well, not even the team. It was just that he had such a great defensive energy for the majority of this game that it created a floor that at least kept the Wolves within striking distance, right? And we saw that they were able to get within, shouting distance and then even take the lead. I thought, coincided with when he came back into the game, and he played 41 minutes tonight and looked fantastic and pretty much all 41 of them. So I think, again, he did a really good job of making it difficult for Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves didn't score in the first 6.5 minutes of this, or didn't score. Really like the first 5.5, 6 minutes of this game. And the first 4 or 5 points Austin had were on free throws. And so the way that he made it difficult for him to get into the kind of the flow of his offense as a scorer, I thought, was tremendous, especially considering what Austin Reeves had done. He'd scored over 90 points in the 2 games coming in. And then the Lakers just ran a ton of stack pick and roll, right? And had Jaden go through multiple screens, and then, just got the ball to the second side, forced the defense into rotation, and guys around Jaden just didn't do a good enough job of keeping guys in front of them and containing the ball. And then Rudy Gobert didn't do a good enough job defending the rim. But as for Jaden, I mean, it's been 2 games in a row now where he's been really just lights out. And I think Jaden McDaniels, like I said the other night, can totally be a competitive advantage at 7 feet tall with the way that he's able to get to the rim and finish with really, really impressive touch. And his 3-point shot has looked way more confident and way more, I think, fluid and repeatable and just comfortable as a whole this season. And it's just really, really a great sight to see. And there's no reason, in my opinion, why Jaden can't maintain this aggressiveness when Anthony Edwards comes back, because he'll he'll only face less defensive attention once Ant's
Right.
back. And I think Ant would totally welcome Jaden taking as many shots as he wants because of how much we know Ant loves and empowers Jaden McDaniels. So overall, a really good night from Jaden and Julius as well, who had his second 30-point game in his last 3 outings. So just a bummer that no one else really came to the party.
Yeah, well said there. Plenty more deep dive from this one, including Dante DiVincenzo's spotty defense tonight. That's all coming up, though, right after this. Quick reminder, tonight's episode brought to us by Monarch Money. You ever go check your bank account and go, where did my money go? Dining out, online shopping, entertainment, so easy to lose track. Well, that's where Monarch Money comes in. Not just another budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, spending. It's all in one place. So you stop just managing your money and instead you start building some wealth. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com. You're getting 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your entire first year. This episode also brought to us by Prize Picks. Without a doubt, the most fun I had playing daily fantasy because you can win up to 25 times your money this NBA season. And why I love it, so easy to play. All you got to do, you select 2 or more players. You pick more or less on their projected stats on any given night. Plus, Prize Picks now offers Apple Pay, quick and easy deposits into your account all season long. Right now, go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA. Use the code LockedOnNBA for a first deposit match up to $100. That's promo code LockedOnNBA at prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA. 100% bonus match up to $100. This episode also brought to us by Built. Nobody likes paying rent, but if you gotta, you might as well get something for it. That's where Built comes in. Built's changing the game by turning your rent into rewards you can actually use. When you pay rent through Built, you earn flexible points that can be redeemed towards hundreds of hotels, airlines, future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, you name it, they got it. Turn your rent into rewards and start earning points around your neighborhood. Go to joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. That's joinbuilt.com/LockedOnNBA. Use the link so they know we sent you. All right, before we get into what we'll be talking about tomorrow, just some quick hitters. I got 3 guys I'm wondering about after tonight. 1 good, 2 bad. Start with the bad. DDV's defense didn't look great again tonight. Rudy Gobert as well. You kind of touched on it. He didn't have a great night either. And then Julius Randle spotting up from 3 was huge. That kind of kept them afloat in this one. Give me a kind of rapid fire 1, 2, 3 with those.
Yeah, I mean, Jake LaRavia, like I said, had 24 points on 23 shots coming into tonight on the entire season. Had shot 34% from the floor. Tonight he had 27 points on 10 of 11 shooting, 5 of 6 from 3, had 17 in the third quarter alone. And that was Dante DiVincenzo's primary matchup. And if you remember back in the third quarter of Monday's game, Tim Hardaway Jr. had 15 points on 5 of 5 shooting in that quarter alone. Yep. That was also Dante DiVincenzo's matchup. And so, Dante is surely capable on the defensive end of the floor. He's been a chaser in his role as an NBA player for a long time, and he was in that role the other night, was in that role tonight, and was 0 for 2 in being able to win those matchups, which is just not something that the Timberwolves can afford to have happen on a consistent basis. He's getting beat off the dribble, and he's fouling too much when he's getting out of position, which is contributing to the other team being in the bonus and getting easier trips to the free throw line. And so I think that's something that he's really got to pick up. I mean, there was kind of a funny moment in the midst of when Jake LaRavia was popping off in that third quarter where I forget who was stepping to the free throw line but during the kind of silence during a free throw, a fan yelled, "Who is number 12?" super loudly where everyone in the arena could hear. And Jake LaRavia started laughing and just threw his hands up like, "I don't know either. I'm just a guy," So that was kind of a funny moment in the midst of a really tough stretch for the Wolves. But yeah, so that's an area that I think definitely needs to be better on an individual level. I think Dante would be the first guy to admit that. And then with Julius Randle, like you said, his 3-point shooting has been tremendous. He continued that tonight. Came into the year shooting 9 of 21, 43% from 3. Super encouraging mark for your first 4 games. And then, came out tonight, made 4 of his 7 threes. I don't think any of them were ill-advised threes. And I think with the way that he's really been blowing by guys and getting up into guys' chests with his back down game from the slot to create those kind of isolation post ups on the wing. Guys have been giving him more space, and he's been taking full advantage of that, making catch and shooting off the dribble threes, which is really important. And I think, for him to be, 13 of 28 this year on threes is certainly an encouraging number. I don't see why he can't continue to shoot the ball, not obviously the 50% mark, but I would not be surprised at all with the quality of 3-point looks that he's getting if he's, in that high 30s, maybe eclipses the 40% mark, because like I said, the quality of shots are just so high. They're in the flow. And I don't think guys want to press up on him because of how physical he is and how he's able to get by them. So that's been fantastic. And it just kind of begged a question for me. The Wolves were 7 of 13 from 3 in the first quarter, did a heck of a job getting up threes. They just shot 17 the entire rest of the game. They made 8 of them. So it wasn't like they were missing a bunch like they were the other night in the second half. It was just the fact that, tonight they weren't able to generate enough threes. And I asked Chris Finch about that before the game. The Wolves were shooting about 40 threes a game last year. This year, they're only shooting about 33 coming into tonight. They only shot 30 tonight. And Finch essentially attributed that to, they were missing the guy right next door too often. So if somebody's playing in the gaps, just got one pass away, they haven't hit him well enough. And they said that the Wolves need to be better at offensive rebounding, which they, were okay at tonight. 9 offensive rebounds, only 6 second chance points. But those second chances are good kick out opportunities for 3. And then with forcing turnovers, they forced 19 of them tonight. And you'd hope that forcing 19 turnovers, you'd be able to get up more threes, but that was not the case. And then last one for me, the quick hitters was just Rudy Gobert. I thought it was a really poor Rudy effort. The Lakers shot 30 of 42, 71.4% in the paint. The Wolves allowed 60 points in the paint. And the Lakers are the best in the league at 2-point shooting at just under 64%. But I just don't think that you can have games where he's not contesting everything at the rim and also not getting rebounds. Like if both of those, if one of those things are happening, you're generally okay. But if both of those things are happening, you're in trouble. And, it continues the worrying trend. Rudy Gobert coming into tonight, career low, 22% defensive rebound percentage. So gets 22% of his team's rebounds when he's on the floor. It was 29% 2 years ago, and it was 24% last year. So just really disappointing, and only 4 defensive rebounds from Rudy tonight. Certainly, marks that need to be a lot better, I think, especially with with the Wolves also struggling with turnovers right now. They also can't afford to hemorrhage points on the offensive glass for other teams.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Quick 60 seconds here. Obviously, we'll be talking about that gut-punching ending. Anytime you lose like that, it hurts the next morning. There's an aftershock to it. But can I just say, to kind of flip this into a positive, I thought this was Rob Dillingham's best game of this short season. Hopefully that at least helps us kind of wake up on the right side of the bed, so to speak, in some ways. Yeah,
for sure. And fun for Rob. He's going home to Charlotte, the Charlotte area where he's from. They're playing the Hornets on Saturday, and hopefully he'll be able to carry that momentum forward with a lot of family and friends in town. He played 11 minutes in his first stint, only shot 1 of 5 for 2 points, but had 5 assists and no turnovers. And I thought looked really comfortable handling in the half court, made several really good passes that set up wide open looks. And I thought was just really intentional about trying to get 2 feet in the paint and kick the ball out or elevate. And that was really good to see. And then for Rob in his second stint to kind of clean up, shoot 3 of 3, had 2 really nice attacks off the dribble and impressive finishes in that second stint as well. So hopefully, that's something that he can carry forward into Saturday, because they certainly need it. They need all the scoring and kind of juice on the offensive end that they can get. And I think it was helpful for Rob that the Lakers didn't really have any offensive personnel that could target him on the defensive end of the floor, and that'll change a little bit in Charlotte when they have a guy named Colin Sexton who finds a way to produce just about every time he gets on the floor. So we'll see what happens, but nonetheless, a great effort from Rob. Finch was hyping him up, clapping when he almost forced a turnover in the backcourt. That was a foul and kind of got the crowd into it. But yeah, a lot to build on for Rob, and you got to be happy for him finally producing with some of this opportunity he's getting.
Well said. Great stuff per usual. T-Wolves, though, man, lose a heartbreaking game Austin Reeves hits that game winner after a 20-point comeback tonight. Come on, 116-115. That's your final 2-3 now on the year. Much love to all you guys, all the everydayers out there. That always makes us your first listen. All you guys coming in the chat with us from game to game as well. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Just hit 10,000 subscribers. Much love for that. And go follow Jack at Jared Borman 13. We'll catch you Saturday at Charlotte, 5 p.m. tip. Until then, signing out.